Hello, my name is Michael Mirdad, and I'm honored to be part of this message of hope for 2012 and beyond. I would like to share some insights, my own personal insights about this particular time in our lives. If you're seeing this video, by the way, it means the world hasn't yet ended. Sorry, but I couldn't resist. Anyway, at this time in our evolution, we're confronted with a lot of dilemma, a lot of confusion, a lot of strife in this world and in what we can expect or not expect to see happening in our particular time and in this particular time. I believe you'll find a lot of messages coming from speakers, teachers, authors, even television programs that share ideas about doom and gloom. Other teachers, a little bit more perhaps New Age related, have a very positive message about this time. They might have a perspective that it's just going to be another day tomorrow and things are just going to be a little brighter. I guess my perspective is sort of a blend of the two. There's no doubt in my mind that messengers from throughout history, Aztecs, the Mayans, Edgar Cayce, Nostradamus, Isaac Newton, even, of course, Mother Mary. And one of the most surprising is to hear Jesus, who has this infinite message of love and light in A Course in Miracles, sharing constantly that everything's an illusion and it's all about love and forgiveness and everything's all right. And yet that same Jesus told the channel Helen Schuckman when she wrote A Course in Miracles, and when she was scribing A Course in Miracles, that one of the reasons he was coming to her with this message was that the world, and I quote, was worsening at an alarming rate, end quote. And what this was saying to me anyway, in my interpretation, was that even though it may very well be an illusion, even Jesus was expressing concerns for the direction we were going or might continue to go. So as I see it, there is something definitely changing on planet Earth. Something very dramatic is going on at this time. And no time in history do I know of have we seen science, religion, philosophy, metaphysics, and all these various thought systems, ancient civilizations as well as modern technologies, agreeing on one particular thing. Nothing is going to be the same. Something very dramatic is happening on planet Earth and in our lives. So as I see it, one thing we must face is that there's a need for a spiritual fulfillment. There's a need for our internal lives to come together like no other time in history. Some of us believe in ancient civilizations, Atlantis, Lemuria, and so forth, and that they reached a demise, particularly because of their way of life, their greed, their selfishness, their warlike behaviors. And clearly we're heading the same direction. That is, unless something changes. So what we've tried to do throughout, especially the last generation, is make considerable changes. Pray for peace and love, wear peace beads and sing songs of love and imagining that such things didn't have to happen on the earth. And yet there is a progression still occurring that we have to face. I believe that what Jacques Cousteau said, actually, way back in the 60s, 70s, he said from a marine biologist standpoint, we were already too far gone. The oceans actually could not be saved. And that's very, very dramatic. It's a very dramatic statement, a very tragic statement in a sense. But he was saying from a scientific standpoint, it's a matter of math. He was saying that something's already happened, and it's just a matter of how long it's going to take to complete itself. So now we're looking at planetary alignments where we reach the center of the Milky Way galaxy. We see another sun flare cycle coming up soon, and all these various sciences and technologies, as well as ancient civilizations, are saying something is going to happen soon, and they all are agreeing, and that's what is of greatest concern to me. One thing I know is this: I do believe wholeheartedly that the world is going to continue to change. And the naysayers or the skeptics say, oh no, it's just another day. For example, when we look at the people that predicted changes at the end of the millennium, they said there are going to be dramatic changes, and of course those skeptics said no, and then it looks like nothing happened because the world didn't end. But really the world did change in a way that will never ever be the same. If you remember, just after the millennium we had the 9/11 tragedy. So nothing has been the same since, and the economy itself was triggered into a change because of that. I believe we're going to see more and more of the same things on planet Earth. I'm not trying to be negative, nor am I being a doomsday prophet. What I'm saying is this is the way of the world. This is the way we need to change. We can learn everything, anything, the easy way or the hard way. And we often have chosen the hard way. So like civilizations before us, and for our own civilization, I believe we are going to see some things being learned the hard way. The great news is this: although some people, some teachers are saying it's just another phase. There's an ending, and that's true. There is another phase. But this is not just another phase. Not another phase in geology, not another phase in science, not another phase in spirituality. This is a major quantum leap like we've never seen before. So the endings are, to me, part of a dismantling. And some of the things I can predict very easily, and I predicted some time ago, I predicted in the late 90s that we were going to see the end of religion as we knew it, and that's been happening, and it'll continue to happen. I also predicted the economy would soon collapse, and it did in a very major way, and it will not ever return to the way we once knew it. And that's all good. And the reason it's good is because they're all illusions. They're all false gods, so to speak. We are meant to find and discover, that is to say, discover ourselves. We're meant to find who we really are. And when we're caught up with things of this world, it's harder to find ourselves. So the things of this world we are creating to fall away from us. We're creating a dismantling at this time and in our lives. And that dismantling is going to lead us to our amazing end result, which is to become once again one with God. So I know it may sound dramatic, but this isn't just another phase. This isn't just another change. Yes, temporarily we are moving into a new dimension. That is a fact. We're moving into a new dimension, and how we can know that that's happening is because people are going to start experiencing not only external changes, but personal changes, such as greater levels of mental strain. People that were not near the edge are coming to the edge, mentally, emotionally. People that were at the edge are going over the edge, sometimes even into psychosis, because of the changes in equilibrium on the planet. Now, adding to that, people are also literally losing they're becoming disoriented because of them losing their equilibrium. Animals. Someone just emailed me today and said, Michael, thanks for your recent message, because in Hawaii, there are apparently herds of deer that are going off the land, off the cliffs, into the water and drowning, and people cannot understand why. They responded to a recent email I sent out, or a newsletter, announcing this, because this is going to continue happening. Whales are going to end up more and more beached. Animals are going into the ocean. Birds are flying into walls and so forth. This is tragic, but it's part of what's going on. The planet is shifting its poles, and that's setting off, sending wrong messages, incorrect messages to the minds and the systems of animals, mammals, and humans. So human beings are finding themselves to be more accident prone. They're tripping, they're falling, they're injuring themselves. This is because this is a gradual way for us to acclimate, even though it doesn't seem like we're acclimating very well. It's a gradual way for us to acclimate to the shifts that could very well be more sudden than they are. Then we would really have problems. And yet the truth is the poles are going to shift far more dramatically and faster as time goes by. 2012 is marking a new era. It is marking a new time for us, but it's marking us going into a new dimension, a new reality, a new experience, a new level of consciousness. Now, we could say it's going to be an easy shift, but it most likely, because of history, we can tell it'll probably be more of a dramatic shift eventually. It's already been dramatic, but it'll become probably even more dramatic. At some point, when the dust settles, literally and figuratively, when the dust settles, what I do know and believe is that this isn't going to be just another age. We're shifting into a place that even A Course in Miracles describes to us as a new level of consciousness. It's the right-mindedness. It's a in-between place between here, earth, and heaven consciousness. I've always taught that there are three worlds, so to speak: heaven, Eden, and earth. We've lived in the earth realm long enough, and what happened is we originally lived in heaven, descended into Eden, and then eventually, they say, fell to earth. Now what we're doing is ascending back into Eden. This isn't just a fourth dimension or a fifth dimension. It's even greater than that. It's Eden consciousness, which to me is not as important. It's important for me to emphasize that this isn't just fourth or fifth dimension. It's important instead to say this is halfway home. So we're not just going to go to the fourth or fifth dimension and live there, and then eventually the sixth dimension and so on. We're actually ascending back into God consciousness, and that's the greater message. It's not so much what's gone wrong historically, it's not so much what we're experiencing in the present day. The ultimate message is where we're going, spiritually and personally, experientially in consciousness, and that's with God, back home with God, in heaven. But there will be a time period where we will, what the Christians call a new millennium. There'll be a time where we will be acclimating to that new consciousness, because we can't really go from just heaven, or rather from earth consciousness back into a totality of oneness with all that is. We're instead needing to step up one phase at a time, and that's out of 3 phases: earth to Eden, Eden to heaven. Thank you very much.
Hello, this is Gregg Braden. Well, we made it. It's here at last. 2012 has arrived, the end of 2012, which means it's the beginning of a new year of 2013. And as we complete this really pivotal year, and all the shifts and crises and changes that certainly we've all felt and experienced, I think it's clear that the role of community has become key to the way that we navigate the even bigger changes that seem to be coming our way in the near future. So I'd like to take this opportunity just to personally express my deepest gratitude to each of you, everyone listening, everyone watching, for all that you have done in the past and that you're doing right now to support our growing virtual community, our family, as well as all that you do to make the big community of our world an even better place. And I want to take this opportunity to let you know, and I want to be very clear about this, I have never been more optimistic about us, our world, our nation, our future, and what is emerging before our eyes right this moment. From the oral traditions of the ancient peoples throughout the world to the theme of the world's most cherished spiritual traditions, the significance of the year that we're completing, of this 2012, as a window of change. It's been no secret to our ancestors. They knew that this time of change was coming, and they knew because it always does. They understood the cyclic nature of Earth's shifting environment, and they also knew that our future would be determined less by the changes themselves. They weren't so concerned about the actual Earth changes. They were more concerned about us, how we treat one another as we go through those changes, whether we choose to fight one another or whether we work to help one another as we go through the changes and the shifts. Well, for very different reasons, the best minds of today agree as well. The scientists, the engineers, social architects, religious leaders, spiritual leaders throughout the world, they're warning us that the choices that we make right now will determine nothing less than the fate of our nations, the survival of civilization, and even the future of our species itself, the future of us. So I've been asked by so many people from so many places in the world to comment on the events of this year, this 2012, and where I think they're leading, what we can realistically expect over the next weeks and months of 2013. And rather than responding to hundreds of letters individually, I'd love just to answer some of those questions in an open letter to our community and to you right now. So I think the first question, what can we realistically expect? And I think what we can say with certainty is that the stage is certainly set for whatever is about to unfold. It's no secret that the world of the past no longer exists. It's gone. The conventional ways of thinking and living that we've grown accustomed to, the ways we've thought about our jobs, our careers, money, health, wealth, security, spirituality, religion, healing, and the role of America in the larger world, all of those things are falling away before our eyes faster, I think, even than those who knew the changes were coming could have expected. It's a fact. You and I are witnessing literally the greatest shift in power, wealth, resources, and thinking in recorded human history. And while the experts have their viewpoints regarding what is at the root of each specific crisis that we face and what went wrong with one thing or another, when we step back and we look at the big picture, the reason for so much change, for me, becomes very obvious. And it's simply because the world of the past is no longer sustainable. If we look closely, the only things that are breaking down, the only things falling apart, are the unsustainable ways of thinking and living that we've grown accustomed to in the past. So from our policies of energy and economics and technology to the way we think about security and how nations work together, the choices in the past are no longer working in today's world. And as we discover the limits of what those choices bring and experience the consequences of this huge learning curve that has led to this very moment, this last closing portal of 2012, my sense is that we've arrived at this magnificent turning point. It has only one of two possible outcomes. We're either going to transform or we're going to collapse. One of those two things is happening. While ancient traditions and modern science underscore the magnitude of our time in history, they also remind us of a powerful fact. What they say is this: it is through the choices that you and I are making in this moment, that we're making today, that the outcomes will be determined. So, in other words, the outcome is not set into stone. So the question then becomes, how do we tip the scales of peace and cooperation and healing in our favor? Maybe more specifically, how do we create an environment that supports fair and sustainable economies, that shares the earth respectfully and compassionately with all life, that bridges the issues that tear at the very fabric of our lives and our families and our communities and our society? Well, the diverse body of work that I've developed over these last 25 years or so, it's my answer to these questions. The choices that we make in life can be nothing more and nothing less than a reflection of us. It's the way we think of ourselves and our relationship to our bodies, to our earth, to our past, to one another. My sense, again, is that when the facts of these relationships are clear, then the choices that we have before us become obvious. For those of you that know me personally, know that I am an optimist. And you also know me well enough to know that I'm a realist. I am optimistic about our future, while I realistically acknowledge that we're poised on the brink of what will either become some very bad choices that we make in this world or some very good decisions. So for me, knowing that the choices even exist and that we're living this precious, powerful, pivotal time that gives our choices such great potency, for me, that gives new meaning and a renewed hope to this 2012 year of emergence, 2013, that lies before us, and all that comes next. So what do I think is in store? Honestly, I really don't know. I don't have a proverbial crystal ball in front of me to answer the question or a hotline to the leaders of the world. I can't say what's going to happen. And I think probably the biggest reason is because we are still choosing. We are still choosing the outcome, whether we're conscious of our choices or not. The fact is that we're choosing in every moment of every day. And what I do know is that it will take every one of us and the diversity of our beliefs and our ideas and the love for life that we each bring to our global community. It's going to take all of that to birth the world of our greatest destiny, rather than succumb to the darkness of our greatest fears. So for those that can embrace the learning curve of our past without judging our past, the future becomes a wide open field for new forms of industry, new jobs that we've never even thought of before, new forms of expression, and new communities based upon sustainable ways of thinking, living, and being in our world. And for those that cling to the old and unsustainable ways of the past, by clinging to those, 2012 may, in fact, look like the fulfillment of history's darkest prophecies, the worst that we could imagine, if we hang on to those old ideas and those old beliefs. My sense is that one of the most powerful keys to our experience of the months and years ahead comes from a shift in thinking, from the old thinking that invites us beyond asking the question, what can I get from the world that exists? That's the old way of thinking. The new question then becomes, what can I give to the world that's emerging? What can I offer to this new world that's being birthed before me? The way that each of us answers this question as individuals becomes our collective answer to what comes next, and that is what the crystal ball cannot show. So I'm going to say personally, I've never felt better about the future and the possibilities that lie before all of us. And now it's up to us We've already made the choices of peace and cooperation in our hearts. We've already voiced that we want to see them in our world. Now, it's time for us to live those choices in every moment of every day. So I look forward to working with you as we do together throughout this new year of 2013 and beyond. I want to take this opportunity to thank every one of you for all that you've done to bring us to the point where we are right now. The choices that we've made, we have to say they worked because we're here. We made it. And now we get to choose once again the world before us. So in deepest, deepest gratitude and with so much love, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you to you all. Happy 2013 and beyond.
Happy New Year. As we look to 2013, it's going to be a very happy time for so many people. Jan used to say that happiness is holy. So let's think of 2013 as a happy, holy year. As we move into January, we're going to see a change in the energy. And it's going to accelerate through the spring and into the early summer, when it's going to come forth, I would say, in full fashion as far as a new renaissance is concerned. Back in January of this year, I had a dream. And in the dream, I was told that a new renaissance was coming. And I woke up and I thought, that's neat, that's a good idea, but didn't really pay a lot of attention to it. And then in a dream, Jan, my wife, came to me from the other side and said, there's going to be many changes in all of the worlds. And there will be a new renaissance. And I began to think, there's something to this after all, and I did some research and found that the Middle Ages were considered the lack of creativity for so many years. But that beginning in 1300, actually 1302, a new renaissance took over this world, this planet. And out of this new creativity came changes in literature, architecture, music, sculpture, and it became a new world, really, from the standpoint of the arts. And it looks like we're about to have another one, very similar to that. Think about it this way. Sometime in the next few months, we're going to see new breakthroughs in literature. The churches are going to have new ways, new types of architecture. The opera, the symphonies, the music is going to be different. We're going to go through a process that many people have been predicting for quite some time but didn't know when it was going to be. It's also interesting that the real breakthrough, so to speak again, was in 1302. 1302 is a number 6. 2013 is also a number 6. And if we go to Genesis and look at the 6th day, what do we have? The creation in the image of God of male, female, with dominion, and the new creative impulse that took over the physical world. So here we go again. A new renaissance, a new time. And it's going to be a delicious, and I say delicious because it's going to taste good mentally and emotionally. It's going to feel good. One thing that came to me in what Jan and I call flow-throughs. Sometimes you're driving a car or showering and a flow-through of thoughts will come into your mind. And recently one came into my mind that said, we came into this being, into individualization, into physical form, all of us, with an imprint of creativity. We didn't know what it was, but it's there. It's etched in the deeper recesses of consciousness. And I believe that as we move into 2013, it's going to come to the surface, and we're going to realize more of our own creativity. When I was about 8 years old, I told my mother, I said, Mother, I'm going to write a book. And she said, go for it. That sounds like a good idea. Well, it took me 40 years to write the book. I feel now that those creative impulses, those imprints that are within our consciousness are going to be coming out much sooner. Children are going to be doing art as never before. children are going to be seeing things in their minds and in their hearts of a creative nature that they had not known before. And my mother grew up on a farm and picked cotton when she was a child. And she told me one time, she said, you know what I wanted to do all my life? And from the time that she was a young woman, and I said, what? And she said, I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to paint pictures. And I said, well, it's not too late now. When she was 84, she painted her first picture. And then another one, and another one. She did 14 over a period of 2 years and had media recognition for some beautiful, beautiful works of art. So what I'm looking at now is that we're not going to take so long. It's going to be an impulse that's going to come out very soon. I should mention that on December the 31st, noon Greenwich time, will be the 27th World Healing Day event with people from all the countries around the world participating. 27 years, that's a 9, and a 9 is usually looked at as a completion time. So perhaps we can have more of the saturation of that energy of peace and love and joy radiate from each one of us to go around this world to make sure that 2013 is a year of peace. So again, Happy New Year. God bless us all.
THEO's been talking about 2012 since the 70s, since before Jose Arguelles in my book, The Fifth Dimension. They brought up 2012 and what would be happening, and that the fifth dimensionary energy is fully in place now on the planet, and what that means for all of us. You know, it's a culmination of an energetic shift that has been going on for several decades. And so now it's just a culmination of that being fully in place. And what they speak about is it's the opportunity for all of us to recognize the masters that we are. And the changes that are coming are the changes from within. You know, many have predicted the world ending and all kinds of things. That's not going to happen. The world is ending as we know it in certain structures, necessarily so. But a whole new way of being is being birthed right now for all of us as a global community, common unity of humankind. What has been occurring is there is a realization of the third dimension, which is your physical reality. The fourth dimensionary energy has been a spiritual awakening, which has been in waves, decade after decade, in the last 100 years. However, what has been happening of late, there has been a quickening energetically for the fifth dimensionary energy, is that which is the energy that the masters hold, that have been the teachers, that have given prophecies throughout the ages, holding an energetic level of masterhood. And in that energy is the presence now for all human beings to actualize that within themselves. So what is occurring now are the changes necessary within each belief system to accept and know one is worthy of the masterhood and that which is the divine being that they are. So it is a process of self-integration, soul integration, if you would, that allows the beings to be conscious of the empowerment of this time. You have all chosen to be incarnate in this time, which is exquisite. And if you could see yourselves as we see you, there would be no discontent. We see the light being, the divine beings that you are, choosing to have an experience in the earthly plane, which is an emotional learning process. But a coming together of like-mindedness, and with technology as you know it, and the expansion of that which will continue, there's a voice and a dialogue that allows for each of you to know the other. Whether one lives next door or across the world in another place, you can see that the human species is one. with all the dreams and desires each of you have, and the desire of love, to be fulfilled, to have peace in your hearts, to have a family structure of great peace and love. That is the bottom experience of human beings, wanting that belonging, that love, but first the self-love and that worthiness aspect of it, recognizing that yes, you are divine. You are the resonance of God embodied. It's that opportunity of that remembering. And so there are many challenges within that, for it requires one to step out of the mode of thought that you are a victim and into the empowered thought, or the causal realm energetically, that you are the creator, which you are. It's an exquisite time to be alive on this planet, for this grand transformation of consciousness that is at hand. So embrace it, do not resist it. The embracing allows that fulfillment to be. God's love unto you.
Hello everybody, this is Swami Beyondanada, and I just got back from hyperspace, so forgive me if I'm a little hyperspacey. Well, here we are, December 2012, the shift of the ages, and many people are asking, why is this shift happening to me? Well, because shift happens, and the shift has hit the fan. And so this is a perfect time for us to upshift our karma into surpassing gear, and so to help us all transcend and to end the trance of separation, I have developed a simple 4-step program which by simple arithmetic alone should work 3 times faster than those old 12-step programs. Okay? So the first step is this: wake up laughing. Yes, as we wise up to the gravity of the situation, we must rise up to the levity of the situation at the same time. Whatever it is that's been bringing us down, levity will help lift us up. And that brings us to step 2, wise up loving. Because as the wisest guys have been telling us for millennia, we are all one with the same one. And the purpose of life is not survival of the fittest, but thrival for all. Love is the new currency in the ecological economy, because the more we spend, the more we have. And as you know, we are not here to earn God's love, we are here to spend it. And here is some very good news. Love is more powerful than fear. Otherwise, we'd be singing, all you need is fear. She fears you, yeah, 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 yeah. No, we're not singing that. Okay? So, we might as well surrender to love. Yes, surrender to love. Let's give up the fight. If love is good enough for Jesus, Buddha, and the Beatles, it's good enough for me. Now, step 3, grow up giving. If we want to overgrow the current dysfunction at the junction, we, each of us and all of us, we have to grow upward. Not just grow up, but grow upward. From children of God to adults of good. Now, while not many of us have seen God, we have all seen good. And we have all seen good, and good is good. Goodness gracious, gracious goodness is what we need right now. Yes. And then finally, step 4, show up. Show up living. As the gospel of fundamentalism, with the accent on the fun, tells us. We are not here to earn God's love. We're here to spend it, and how you spend it depends on what you love to do. Make a bucket list of all of the undertakings you wish to undertake before being overtaken by the undertaker. And then do them. Do them. Then start doing them. They say that an unexamined life is not worth living, but I will tell you something else. An unlived life is not worth examining. So, turn off your TV and tell a vision instead. Yes, television. I television to you, you television to me. And then we will have healing and functional visions to step into. Now, people have asked me, Swami, could you make a prediction for what will happen in 2012 and 2013? Well, the only prediction I could make for 2013, for sure, what will happen is the millennia will celebrate its bar mitzvah, okay? But other than that, no predictions, because this is a world of unlimited possibilities, and prediction limits the possibilities. So, better than prediction, I recommend telling your vision. So I will start. Imagine living in a healed world. Yes, imagine that. Imagine think tanks where they think about more than tanks. Imagine this. Imagine young people living for their country instead of dying for it. Okay, I am going to stretch your imagination beyond stretching the imagination. Imagine going to the voting booth and voting for the greater of two goods. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Swami, you are proposing a sane world. You must be crazy. But I say this, we do not need to change the world. All we need to do is toilet train the world, and we'll never have to change it again. Okay, so finally, my final message to you is that laughter is what heals. So, what we want to do right now to ensure that we have plenty of laughter as we come into this next year and into this really new time, I would like for us to all take a vow of levity. So, all those wishing to take a vow of levity, please rise and repeat after me. All for fun and fun for all. And may we laugh, laugh, laugh till the sacred cows come home. Namaste and namasko. Bye-bye.
There is no doubt that an acceleration of change is taking place on our planet. This is impacting how we perceive reality, life, and death. We each have a precious opportunity to let go of all that no longer serves the more evolved greater self we are transforming into. This means healing and facing all our human emotional patterns, attachments, judgments, fears, expectations, and perceptions that have bound us to a very limited personal ego existence, which has caused us much suffering, loneliness, and pain. With the activation of all the gamma radiation, the solar flares, and the intensification of cosmic outpouring from our central sun Alcyon in the center of our galaxy, all these events are a catalyst for the awakening and shift for humanity from a 2-strand DNA to a fully activated 12-plus DNA strands. This means our ability to tune into our higher self and universal consciousness is becoming much more accessible to everyone on the planet. Being able to use this intelligence to serve others and bring more healing, love, peace, joy, and enlightenment to everyone you come in contact with. The important thing to understand is not to be so much concerned with what is going to happen to Earth in 3D, but to be more concerned with your inner self. That is your barometer for the shift to a more resonant, liberated, light, and love-filled being. This is also the barometer that will decide the outcome or the evolution of mass consciousness on Gaia and the cosmic shift of Gaia herself. There is great compassion and patience which the Ascended Masters hold for each life stream evolving here on Earth. Many souls are awakening and quickening their awareness and understanding of their higher self, allowing this intelligence and love to guide them to a higher reality beyond duality, beyond the illusions of 3D. As you become more aware of the 3D matrix and how it operates and projects the virtual holograms of duality we call reality, you will realize that this operation is coming from a fourth dimensional astral plane. If you wish to evolve beyond this, then invoke the assistance of the Ascended Ones or your higher self, who will guide you to a fifth dimensional reality and beyond, where there is no more duality, suffering, birth, or death. Unconditional love, devotion, compassion, patience, forgiveness, and empathy are the keys to unlock this door. And one of the most important keys is releasing self-judgment. Look deep within your own subconscious and see if there are still traces of self-judgment, any traces of victimhood, martyr, or predatory energy that is fear-based, resulting in a need to control or manipulate others in inappropriate ways. Another important key is discernment, your ability to make healthier choices. Choices that will support and empower your liberation and freedom are imperative for your evolution. Desire is not the root of all evil. It's what you do with your desires, how you harness them. If you become a slave to your desires, then they will control you. If you embrace all the desires of your heart and then continue to surrender them to your higher self, you will be well on your way to a quickening of your liberation and ascension. There is no more time. Welcome to the eternal now, and don't forget, be gentle with yourself. Blessings and love to you all. Love, Aeoliah.
Hi everybody, I'm Dee Wallace, and I wish I were there partying with you because I know you're partying with Michael. So my message of hope for December 21st in 2012 is you. It's all about you. We're the ones we've been waiting for. You're the creator. You're the one that's going to empower everything. And so your fears, your beliefs, your perceptions around what December 21st is about is what it'll be. Are you there? Or woohoo! Are you there? Because you know, it's all about light. Everything's light. It's a creation of light. And who creates the light into physical form? You do. You're the God of you that was given free will to create who you are, to empower yourself, and therefore the collective consciousness, ergo the world, ergo the universe, as love and light and knowing, or fear and not knowing and lack of clarity. I mean, come on, really. We've been there, done that. Aren't we bored? Aren't we bored with not knowing? So let's claim together, I know that the creation of love and joy, empowerment, health, wealth, great, fabulous, frickin' relationships, awesome sex, and a country that works together is our right, our possibility, and indeed our duty to direct and create. We are the gods of us. And when we decide and commit to who we are and what we want, the entire universe rushes in to help us. So take heart, because it's really very simple and easy. It's really all about you. and your choice and the empowerment of the commitment to truly know that you're deserving, capable, willing, and absolutely brilliant at choosing to be God. Many blessings, guys. Party well. Party well, for 2013 is going to be a great party. Bye.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Gary Renard, and I'm the author of The Disappearance of the Universe and Your Immortal Reality. And they asked me to talk for about 5 minutes about, what the year 2012 really means, and the date December the 21st, 2012. And I think it's very interesting, because that date, December the 21st, 2012, is actually the beginning of the rise of the Planet of the Apes. I'm kidding. It's not really rise of the Planet of the Apes. But what it is the beginning of a new cycle. And it's not the end of the world. At the end of the year here, there are going to be a lot of disappointed people, that they're still alive, because life goes on. The only difference is that it's the beginning of a new cycle. And it's going to be a very interesting cycle in human history. There's going to be a couple of different things going on. There's going to be, what passes for life, what you watch on the news, the events that seem to be happening in the world. And that's not always going to be very pretty. If you're looking for the economy to pick up and for things to get better, I wouldn't count on that if I were you. I think it's going to be a while before that starts to happen. But just because things aren't going good, it doesn't mean that things can't go good for you. It's really what you make of it. And there are going to be people who actually, do very well even during bad times, if you know how to do it. So it's up to you to educate yourself and to find out how to do things that can work. No matter what the rest of the world is doing, and no matter what the economy is doing, you can still do well. And that's just what goes on, in the surface. You're going to have more violent storms. You're going to have more violent weather because of global warming. And there's going to always be problems. There always have been. But at the same time, underneath the surface, there will be things going on that you won't see on the news. For example, a general spiritual awakening is taking place in the world. My teachers in my books, Auken and Pieratt, they said that there are more enlightened people walking around today on the planet than there have ever been in history. I think A Course in Miracles has a lot to do with that. But I think that there's a general awakening going on. It really started about 100 years ago, but it's been accelerating. And now that we're beginning this new cycle, that phase is going to accelerate even more. And that spiritual awakening will become more and more apparent to the people who know about it. And at the same time, as I said, you're not going to be hearing about it on the news. And the news still makes fun of spiritual people. And that's their thing. But our thing is not to worry about what somebody else is doing, because enlightenment is found within. It's not found without you. And whatever you're into, and I know there are a lot of people who are going to see this who are into a lot of different things. Whatever you're into, I'd say find the discipline, stick with it, and you'll make a lot more progress than you will if you just keep jumping from one thing to another. It's better to find a discipline and to stay with it and to develop it into where it actually becomes a part of you. If you do that, you'll make tremendous progress. And, I think that another thing that you'll be seeing that'll be happening as this decade goes on is that eventually on the surface of the world, things will improve. It may take another 10 years. I don't want to bum anybody out, but it could be another 10 years before things really start to improve as far as economic conditions are concerned. But I think from the year 2022 to the year 2056 or so, about 34 years, that's a nice Fibonacci number. My teacher said that what's going to happen is the biggest economic expansion in human history. They actually predict, and they're sticking to this prediction, that around the middle of the century, the Dow Jones Industrial Average will be at the 100,000 level. So, that calls for very good times. But unfortunately, it's not going to start for about 10 years, and then it'll accelerate as it goes along. What you can do in the next 10 years is you can realize that it's not unpatriotic to short the stock market. It's not unpatriotic to buy gold. It's okay to do these things. They're legal. They're perfectly ethical. And if you do something like that, you're not screwing anybody. You're just doing what you're capable of doing. And at the same time, the important thing is how you look at it. It's not what you know, it's how you look at what you know and what you do with what you know, and if you practice it to the everyday situations and events that you see in your life. With A Course in Miracles, it's a certain kind of forgiveness. With you, it might be that, it might be something else, but whatever it is, do it, apply it. And if you do, then that can lead to inspiration, it can lead to guidance, and it can lead you to all kinds of good things. So I wish you luck and I wish you love. Thank you.
Hello, I'm John Van Auken here at the Edgar Cayce Center in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And if you've been wondering what's going to happen when the Mayan calendar ends December 21st, 2012, take heart. An archaeological team at Boston University has made a new discovery this year in which they found the chamber of a Mayan calendar maker. As you can see from this slide here, there's the picture of the woods and the mound of debris, and one of their team saw a little paint through this. And as you can see, there's the big picture of what you're seeing right here in the chamber as you look through. They dug all the dirt out, got into the chamber. There's one of the walls. But also on this wall, here's an archaeologist cleaning on the wall. Also on the wall was the Mayan calendar by a Mayan calendar maker, a chronicler of time. But the fascinating thing about this calendar is that it extends 6,000 years beyond 2012. That's plenty of time for you and I to reincarnate and continue our soul growth, our expansion of consciousness, our raising our vibrations and reunion with the oneness of all life. 6,000 years beyond 2012, recorded by a Mayan. Now, if you recall, Nostradamus also wrote a letter to his son Caesar saying that he saw to the year 3797. So there's a lot of time left for a lot of soul growth. And if you have a bodhisattva energy in your soul, to come back and help others with their consciousness, their vibrations, their understanding of what life's all about. So, December 21st, 2012 is just another marker on the journey to enlightenment. An important marker, but life goes on for a long time. And if you remember, the Revelation says Satan will be bound for 1,000 years. 1,000 years in which in the earth there'll be no temptation, no evil. It's a golden age. And Edgar Cayce, in one of his psychic readings, said, put it in your heart to be here then. You've been here during the hard times. Don't miss the good times. So take heart, look forward, apply yourself in life. There's a lot more left to do, and the Great Spirit will be with us through the whole journey.
"2012 will not be the end of the world as many people are afraid that it will be. It might just instead be the end of the world as we know it today, in a very good way. It will be an elevation of our consciousness. It won't be as if on December 21st we pick up our bed sheets, look underneath and scream because we're suddenly invisible. We might scream for another reason, but I'm sure we could turn that into another interview. Right now, the focus is that I'm not even sure we're going to notice anything on December 21st, December 22nd, maybe for 1 year, for 3 years, for 6 years. But a dozen years or so later, we will look back and say, look at this shift in human consciousness. Look at this change in our awareness. And as we become more aware, we bring into creation, we bring into existence what our awareness recognizes. In other words, we become more multidimensional beings. And since we go where our attention is, we don't just become more multidimensionally aware, we exist more multidimensionally. The reconnective healing frequencies take us beyond energy, beyond the subsets of energy such as Reiki, Jirei, Jin, Qigong, etc. Takes us beyond the entirety of energy and into a spectrum of energy, light, and information. Aspects of light and information that have not been seen here on the planet before. 5 studies so far, with a 6th international study being planned, have shown that the reconnective healing frequencies raise the level of our light and make it more coherent. They bring us into what a number of the scientists call a super aware state of consciousness. They increase the number of spindle frequencies occurring in the brain. What happens is that the DNA in each of our cells emits specific levels of light. We know this today from the work of Dr. Fritz Popp in Germany and others who are continuing his work. It is generally understood that when our health is diminishing, that light is dimming. When our health is coming back up, that light is coming back up. And light plays a very important role in the healing process. So maybe this new, expanded, more coherent level of light is a part of the gift of what 2012 is opening us up to. What it does is that it allows our light to rise to a higher vibration. Now, how does that happen? It happens through a concept called entrainment. Entrainment is, well, let's take an example. The old clock factories. The clocks would have pendulums swinging from them. After a while, all the pendulums would pretty much swing at the same rate. They would entrain with one another. Women who work together in close office atmospheres, often their menstrual cycles go onto the same cycle. This is an example of entrainment. If you have 2 stringed instruments and you pluck one here and pluck one there, what happens is the lower vibrating string often rises towards the higher vibration of the other string. This is entrainment. Now, how does this work with light? When we access reconnective healing, we move beyond energy into light and information. This higher level of light communicates with us on a level other than conscious. And something inside of us subconsciously says, hey, I remember this. I recognize this. This is a part of my essence that I experience in between lifetimes, when we return to that light that we all come from, that we all return to. I think I'll do it again. And we return to that vibration of light. And once we do, we regenerate tissue more instantaneously. our muscle tissue changes, our collagen changes. And anything denser than that light vibration, which pretty much tends to include most of our health challenges, has very little left to hold on to. So as appropriate for that person on their life course, those health challenges, those densities simply fall away. The insights of 2012 are to teach us to redirect our vision, to bring our insight and our attention back home, back inside of us, to step into becoming the healing so that we can inspire the healing and evolution within others. Many people are looking for a message of hope for 2012. I don't think it's about hope as much as it is simply about recognizing that we are evolving into more aware, more multidimensional, more comprehensive beings. I believe if hope goes anywhere, my hope for 2012 is that we learn to recognize, to stop looking for what makes each and every one of us different, individual, and unique, but that we learn to look for what makes each and every one of us the same. Looking for what makes us different is what has spiraled into conflicts, arguments, and wars. When we learn to recognize what makes us all one and the same, that when one child cries in one part of the planet, 100 children weep in another, that when one child laughs, 1,000 children laugh, that we are that connected. As soon as we recognize that, we will become more fully one community on this planet. And as far as I'm concerned, that's the next step into becoming more fully one community in the universe.
Hello, this is Jonathan Goldman. Here we are at the end of 2012, fast approaching the winter solstice, a time when many traditions and prophecies predict great shift and change for our planet. I'd like to present a positive and uplifting outlook for these upcoming times. It has been my intuitive knowing for quite a while that December 21st will be ushering in an era of increased love and healing for humanity. I'd like to acknowledge, however, that currently our world seems to be divided, with tremendous turmoil occurring on economic and environmental levels. There's more fragmentation among the peoples of our planet than ever before, politically, socially, and spiritually. This is of great concern, and to many it may seem hopeless, that we are headed towards a place of chaos and downfall. But I must tell you, this is not the way I see it. That is because I know this fragmentation that is occurring can be healed. It can be made whole, and we can be one. The solution lies in our being able to realize that there is a oneness, a singularity that we are all a part of. In order to begin to create the singularity, we need to work together in a state of cooperation, not competition. We need to resonate with the energy of compassion so that we understand that what affects one of us affects us all. When this happens, those barriers between us that divide us and make us separate vanish, and we begin to not only heal ourselves, we begin to heal our planet. The question is, how? From my perspective, the answer is simply that we must begin to awaken as a species by opening to higher levels of compassion and cooperation towards ourselves and our planet. Again, the question arises, how can we do this? There are actually many different ways that this can occur through various modalities that can change our consciousness and our awareness. For me, the most powerful and effective way to do this is through the use of healing sounds. My favorite method of utilizing sound seems to be the most effective of all that I know of for shifting frequencies. This is using intentionalized sound in order to change our own vibrations as well as those of our planet. Here I am talking about making our own self-created sounds, anything from toning an elongated vowel to just humming, in order to shift and change the frequency of our nervous system, resonate our chakras, and bring our consciousness into higher levels of being. For many people, when I mention the idea of using self-created sounds, they immediately go into a state of separation because they say something like, well, I can't do this. I can't hold a tune in a bucket. But I'm not talking about making music. This is not about getting up in front of an audience and singing a song. That's entertainment. That's wonderful and can be very healing. But what I'm talking about is called entrainment. This is the ability of one vibrating object to shift and change the vibrations of another object. We can learn to use our own sounds individually or together on a unified group level to interact and interface not only with each other, but with the energy of the Earth, what many call the Gaia Matrix, and to help awaken others on our planet to the energies of compassion and cooperation, of singularity and oneness. I am so pleased that science has shown that one of the most important elements in terms of our ability to affect ourselves and our planet is to be able to create a synchronization or a coherence of our heart and our brain. By creating this coherence, it appears that our own personal electromagnetic field can be expanded hundreds or even thousands of times. When we experience this through global prayer and meditation, we connect with the energies of others as well as connecting with the electromagnetic field of the Earth itself. This field then becomes exponentially greater. How extraordinary. A major key with regard to our being able to interface with the energy of our planet is the addition of our own self-created sound. When we add the energy of self-created, intentionalized sound to this heart-brain coherence, we can amplify our interconnected field even further. There is a reason that in most traditions throughout our planet, prayers are vocalized, whether they are whispered, chanted, spoken, or sung. It is a simple fact that sound amplifies the power of prayer. Through toning together, for events such as World Sound Healing Day or for this Winter Solstice 2012, we can actually affect the very flow and fiber of reality, creating global shift and change on a monumental level. We can alter the frequencies of our planet, uplifting and helping awaken the consciousness of those upon it, in order to embrace unconditional love and compassion. When we do this, we help make change. We help bring our awareness from one of duality to one of singularity. We go from competition to cooperation. We go from fear to love. All of these things can occur simply through working with the power of globally encoded sounds. Remember, we heal the planet, we heal ourselves, and we heal the planet. As we emerge into 2013 and beyond, we are at a time in our evolutionary development when we can literally shift our global vibrations through our light, our love, and our sound. I send blessings to all of you on this winter solstice, December 21st, 2012.
everyone. I'm Jean Slater, and I'm so happy to be here with you, even if it's only in video form. I am so looking forward to 2013 like no year before. Why? Well, there's a couple of big reasons. One, actually, I'm really excited about all the technological advances that we have. I really enjoy it, and there's a couple things that are amazing to me, like the idea of free energy. It's just around the corner, and I think we really have the opportunity to move into a whole new paradigm, a whole new world. The other thing that I'm really excited about is that we are remembering who we are. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that we are remembering that we are creators, we are remembering where we came from, and we are remembering who we have access to. When I say who we have access to, I mean the celestial realm. We're not here alone. This veil between the physical world and this higher dimension is thinning, and we're becoming more and more aware that we are not just this physical body, but yet we are this physical body and beyond, and that this access to the spiritual realm is where our truest, greatest power exists. So my guidance wants you to know there are thousands and thousands of unemployed angels. You can access this celestial realm and bring it down here to earth to help you in your everyday life. It used to be that was a gift that only a few people had the ability to access that realm, but not anymore. This realm is available to everyone, and that is so exciting. I cannot imagine what I would do without my angel team. My angel team helps me with everything in my life, from my personal relationships to my business and career and finances. It's just, they're amazing. So what I want to ask you to do is to put your special 2013 dream team together. Your angel in here to say hello to you. She wants to get her 2 clucks in. Anyway, hire away from the heavens and bring in this tremendous power. It's the most powerful resource in the entire universe. Bring them in to assist you in the creation of your world, and you're going to make 2013 your best year ever. Thanks. Have a fantastic time.
Hi, this is Stephen Halpern, and I'm delighted to be sharing these thoughts with you right now. As we approach 2012, from the first time that I remember hearing about the incredible amount of ancient information and contemporary science that is really showing us that this is truly a very special time. It's no accident that indeed everything comes out on December 21st, because clearly, way back when, people who knew that this was happening created the calendar so that it would work this way. In the same way as we do in the recording studio, we can back time when we need to start an edit. And I know when I've been speaking to some people, they say, well, how could it be, how could it just be that December 21st happens to be so special? Well, it's because it's not an accident. And with that as well, the whole concept and the fear merchants that have been putting out the end of the world scenario, as so many people have been putting forth over the last 10 years, it's the end of one cycle and the beginning of another. And that's where I hold the vision of such a positive vision that those of us who are participating in the new paradigm in birthing a new consciousness really use the tools of our consciousness, of our technologies to band together. And I don't use these musical metaphors lightly, and would also say that as we shift into these higher realms and these more specific
specific states of consciousness and particular brainwave frequencies where we can literally link our brainwaves and link our consciousness. Way back when, Barbara Marx Hubbard, Dr. Gene Houston, and others talked about the very word of inspiration, dealing with breathing, and conspiration, conspiring, literally breathing together and orchestrating our consciousness. Well, what I've been working with, of course, has been specifically in the sound domain, contributing and composing and channeling music that can be used both on an individual basis to help individuals get into that aligned, attuned, and resonating with the higher levels of our own being and the higher levels of other levels of existence. And also, as two or more people listen to soundtracks that are similarly attuned, whether they're chanting, whether they are listening, making some of the sounds with crystal bowls, etc., that conscious creation of sound with intention takes everything to a higher level and makes for a more powerful signal, a more powerful waveform. Literally from science and physics, we could see that when people breathe together and focus their consciousness in the same way, well, the key then is how and when do we focus that? Obviously, on December 21st, we will be focusing in so many different ways, whether it's with the Shift Network and Stephen Dinan and Barbara Marx Hubbard with her group, and the Celestine Vision of James and Sally Redfield, or the Global Coherence Project promoted by HeartMath. There are so many different groups. Maybe we'll all be able to focus and get a symphony of consciousness where we really will be manifesting what we are reading and learning and discovering theoretically and practically, that we can speak to our DNA, we can literally communicate with our molecules, with our cells of our body, and with the overcells, and actually the vibratory resonance of our planet. My hope and my affirmation is that many of the people who are card-carrying New Agers and believe in consciousness and higher powers take a more active participatory role in what's going on, and that they do choose to add their energy, to add their vibrations to what all the rest of us are doing in this aspect, because there are many on the other side of the equation, of the energetic equation, perhaps not as full of light as the groups that I mentioned before, and I would imagine you who are watching this right now, that it's important for all of us to join in. We all need to be part of this universal symphony. We're all part of the band, and it's time to play. I think it's no longer appropriate to be sitting in a cabin, sitting in a cave. We need to come out, and through both the internet, through time-aligned meditations, whether it's tuning in to 12 midnight Greenwich Mean Time, or your local version of that, or in that wave of consciousness that we've seen in other meditations, where every time zone tunes in at a particular aspect. That is such a powerful modality. I know for myself, last year on 11/11, which was also the anniversary of when I first came to California, I was undergoing some physical challenges and orchestrated a focusing of healing energy for myself. I wondered before that whether I would notice anything. I can tell you that I felt like I was levitating. I felt like I had been meditating for 8 hours. It was very, very real. And I think as more of us do this sort of activity and join in, it will become more and more of a reality. And that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. As more people join in, the waveform, the energy builds and makes it easier for others to tap into that. In the same way that when you tune up and align and resonate and activate your first chakra and get that in tune with this perfect pattern of vibration, it sends out vibrational shockwaves to align and entrain the second chakra and so on up through the 7 chakras. That's actually part of the basis of my album Chakra Suite, that in the same way where 2 or more of us are gathered, greater spiritual leaders than I have made that well known over the last many thousands of years, where 2 or more of us are gathered, that waveform is enhanced, and it's not a metaphor. We can feel it, and I look forward to many more of these opportunities that we need to join our hearts, our minds, our energies, and our love to affirm and manifest and set the intention of creating a positive future. If we don't set a conscious agenda, someone else will, and it doesn't seem to be in harmony and in supporting our own higher well-being and our own higher good. So it's really time to go inward, go outward, to focus on the politics of vision, some of the most ancient uses of consciousness, and bring that into the present day, honoring the love, honoring each other, honoring those on many planes who are witnessing this incredible moment in our own personal and planetary evolution. I have no doubt that all of us who are alive now made the conscious choice to incarnate, to be awake and alert and aware at this time, to participate and support and amplify the healing of our planet and the raising of consciousness and the progress of our own and collective soul evolution. So with that, I send you love, I send you light, and look forward to sharing with you on December 21st.
Hello, I'm Adrienne. I'm the creator of Inner Speak, and I'm here to talk to you about the year 2013 and what I perceive is going to be our major theme for 2013. Now, 2012 was an interesting year, was it not? We went through all kinds of challenges. We had our bodies completely transfigured into new crystalline energy from old carbon-based energy. And if you're watching this video, you've already completed that process. And now we are ready to move forward into a new reality, the reality of heaven on earth. The 2 bywords for 2013 will be accountability and responsibility. We have to be responsible for creating the realities that we desire to actually have manifest in front of us. So that's the big piece of responsibility, but we also have to be accountable for those creations. Now, how's that going to play out in your life? Well, for one thing, these new crystalline bodies that we are now living in, this new rewired human template, if you will, has a lot of nuances that we've not been used to in the past. A lot of the tools and techniques that we used in 2012 and before to maintain our boundary integrity, to protect our energy, and to enable us to be healthy and happy individuals, well, guess what? That's old technology and it just doesn't work anymore. So we're now in process of developing new ways of living on the new planet Earth. It's almost as if we are aliens on this planet now, because we came in brand new and we came in different, and we're now not so much immune to other people's energies and to many of the things that would have in fact tripped us up in the past. We're having to develop new ways of walking, talking, and living that enables us to stay in our own boundaries and to stay healthy and happy. One of the easiest ways to deal with this is with light. By filling ourselves up consciously with light, as often as we think of it, we will then expand ourselves out to create new boundaries, new healthy boundaries for these templates. You know, our old way of dealing with life was with an immune system. And the immune system way doesn't work anymore. Our new way has to do with the heart chakra, the high heart, in fact. And these new human templates are thymus-centered templates. Our thymus is expanding to create for us perfect health. We have the ability now to maintain our health, our beauty, our size, our organs, to heal anything and everything. And we do it through our attention and our intention. And our organs and gland systems are working with us to achieve this. So use light as your tool to enable you to create perfect health. And use your intention. You can talk to the cells of your body and ask the cells of your body to maintain their divine blueprints, to heal anything that goes wrong in your body. Because you know what? Modern medicine now is not really prepared to deal with these new templates. Now, I'm not telling you not to go to the doctor if you get the sniffles or if you start feeling bad, but I'm telling you to take responsibility for your own body first and be accountable for its perfection, because it is perfect. Now, you can then begin to create for yourself in this new reality almost instantaneously. Are you noticing how quickly it's happening? You know, I made a comment to myself just last night that, wow, I'm going to be on vacation next week. I sure do need to manifest a bunch of clients before I go on vacation. And I hadn't even let those words out of my mouth that my telephone rang and I got an email, 2 clients wishing to book sessions with me so that I could begin to fill my coffers before I go on vacation. We're creating our reality just that quickly. When we choose to stay in the flow of energy now, we'll find that we will sail through life without hanging up on any of the debris on the sides of the creek anymore. Now, my gift for you today is to do a clearing of old energies, energies from the past, so that you don't have to carry those burdens forward into 2013. So I used my Inner Speak cards, and I pulled a clearing session for us for 2013. The first card, the red card, is where we set up blocks, and this card says past life. So each of us has a past. It's everything that was before you are today in the present moment. And in that past, the setup, what went wrong, was we felt powerless. We felt like servants, and our hearts were broken. And this happened repeatedly to us. But it doesn't have to happen anymore, because now that we are responsible and we are accountable for our realities, you're going to find that no longer will you ever feel powerless. What did this do to your soul? The yellow cards are the soul reaction cards, and it said that our ability to be in relationship with ourselves, with others, and with Mother, Father, God was disrupted by the traumas that we endured in the past. And we took away a belief. The blue cards are the stuck belief. We took away a belief that other people are better than I am. And that will not serve any of us going forward into 2013. So let's clear this away so that we can walk into the new year with a new reality. The first clearing says to close your eyes and ask that all the energetic debris in your body and in your field that looks like mirrors be cleared away from you now. So just clear away all the mirrors. These mirrors act like big magnets, and they attract to you people, places, and situations that reinforce this belief that others are better than me. Now you've got some additional old stuck energy from the past that's sort of holding you into not present time, into old paradigms of reality and things that you haven't let go of. So just take a moment and clear that debris away as well. Do that by forgiving everyone in your past that you perceive ever wronged you, and forgiving yourself for everything that you think you screwed up or you did wrong. Let it all go, because it is in the past. It's washed away now. And now finally, what I want you to do is just imagine that there's a big piece of paper right in front of you. And I want you to let a beautiful angel write you a message on your piece of paper. This is the part that is unique to you. Let the angel give you a message, and then turn it around and read what it says. The message that I received is, dear one, you are loved beyond all imagination. You are the creator of your reality. And now, the fruits of your manifestation are appearing before you. Enjoy them and flow freely into life, love, happiness, joy, and bliss. And this is my wish for you for 2013. And you receive blessings from the angels for doing this work. So the violet cards are your angel blessing cards. And the first one says that you've received a healing from your awakened inner self. And the second card is the return of your authority, your power, and your confidence. So put on your I am presence and walk in your strength, in your power, into this new reality, into this new year, and enjoy the blessings. I am Jean Adrienne. Thank you.
The reason I'm really excited about December 21st is that, first of all, we've all been waiting for this date a long time, and it's finally coming. And second of all, the changes that we can make are just enormous. And the universe is totally on our side to help us rejuvenate our bodies and even become physically immortal. And the thing that interests me the most is the possibility of achieving physical immortality in this new frequency that's coming. And I've wanted that for a long time. I've studied that for a long time, and I'm interested very much in what can happen to our bodies. Now, from what I've learned is that we are all going to a new frequency in our bodies. Our biology is actually going to ascend. So we have this opportunity to heal ourselves in the physical body and to rejuvenate the physical body and to achieve physical immortality and ascension. There is a preparation for that, and one has to take responsibility to change the thought. Death is inevitable, of course, and one has to take responsibility to change one's worst thoughts about themselves, and one has to choose life 100%. A yogi told me a quickie version of physical immortality I want to share with you. He said, spirit is that which cannot be destroyed. Now, you know that's true. You can go outside and take a hatchet and chop up spirit and you get more spirit. You can't kill it. Well, then he said, mind is condensed spirit. Then he said, body is condensed mind. Therefore, body is utmost spirit. So that is a quickie definition of physical immortality, which is really the unification of body, mind, and spirit. Why would you want to achieve physical immortality? It's not so you can walk around and brag that you're 300 years old. No, it's an opportunity to really make a difference and to do your mission. And because you're on a mission of divine service as a light worker, you want to stay here and be healthy and do it as long as you can without having to die and reincarnate and die and reincarnate 1,000 more times. At this point, reincarnation becomes obsolete, and you can stay on the path of ascension and keep raising your frequencies in your body, and your biology actually ascends. And then you can feel good, and then you can do your mission and with a joyfulness to it and without worrying about aging. And in this new energy, we have that opportunity that we've never had before. We have to process what we call the unconscious death urge. And the unconscious death urge is kind of like a conglomerate in your subconscious. And it contains the following issues. It contains the thought, death is inevitable, which is a thought you can change. It contains your worst thought about yourself, which we call in breath work your personal lie. Of course, it contains the thought I'm separate from God. Those 3 thoughts alone could kill you. Then it contains all your anti-life thoughts and your past life memories of dying. And of course, your family programming on death, when your ancestors died and of what condition. It also contains all your anti-life thoughts. So all of that we call in breathwork your unconscious death urge. And it can be breathed out. So that's very necessary in this new energy of December 21st and forward, is to have some way of clearing your body. Now the body dies when it can no longer clear itself. So you have to have a way of clearing your body. And liberation breathing is a fantastic, easy way to do it. So one has to stay on this path, which is a spiritual path, and keep cleansing your body. We have all the support now. As of this day, December 21st forward, the universe is on our side to become immortal, to become an ascended master, to achieve everything you've ever wanted to achieve. Because the energy is going to be so high, your thoughts are going to manifest more quickly with more power. That's why you have to be very careful what you're thinking. Well, you always have to be careful what you're thinking, but in this new energy, you really have to be careful what you're thinking. So it's really an important time to study the Course in Miracles if you haven't done it. It's really an important time to breathe, and it's really an important time to let go of the death urge. And if you do that, you're going to have a lot of support from the new energy. So it's exciting to be alive now. And if you haven't enjoyed your life, well, now is the time to start doing it.
Hi, I'm Aaron Starcke with a message beyond hope of certainty. My husband was and is a modern mystic with a message that is so vital to living beyond 2012. Starcke knows that this is to be the age of the gods. Now I say knows because he is still a living being. Life is everlasting. But before he made his transition into his light body, together we wrote the Starckes, a guide to living fully beyond 2012. The keys are absolutely necessary to empower us to live fully in kingdom consciousness far beyond 2012 on the earth. As your own higher consciousness creates your future, you will be the living truth of love, joy, and harmony in expression. As we move forward, miracles are normal experiences. Fears and misperceptions are replaced by the awareness of divine source in action as your pure being. Plus, there is no matter, no form that cannot be changed, nothing that cannot be forgiven, as love is the key to your life expression. No longer will there appear to be a gap between your humanity and your divinity. You hold the keys to making the shift into living as gods. Your living brings higher perceptions into an awareness that uplifts the consciousness of the whole. Now, what is this shift? Well, Starcke would say this is the shift from the objective to the subjective. What does this mean? Well, it means that it's time for humanity to reverse its priority, to refocus from the outer world of effects or objects to directly live from and as spiritual source. The key to this shift is to align first with divine spirit, God, your divine source, to create a life that flows effortlessly, harmoniously, filled with joy and love. To align with God, we have to know that it's all God. We have to go beyond objective words to the subjective experience of true inner knowing. This is the mystical experience of oneness. Now, why is it so important to make this shift? Well, each one of us is so empowered at this time that the ripples of our consciousness are felt across the universe. The sunny days come from our own hearts. Joy dances through our vibrations, and love goes before us to make the crooked places straight. Our light shines out to the world and beyond. It's the age of the gods. We literally are the focus point of the heart of the universe. Not only does our consciousness affect our immediate family, but all humanity. But it doesn't stop there. If we lift up our consciousness, all who are connected to us, living and across the veil, are lifted up as well. And the earth is restored to its natural harmony. So can you beat that? No. Living in 2012 and beyond is exciting. If Walter were here making this video, he would want to tell everyone to use their earth time to listen to both the within and the without. It's all God. Everyone is on their own right path at their own right time. But no one can play the game the same anymore. We have to flow both from the within and the without with love in expression, with love, joy, and harmony. Don't resist, but replace hope with certainty. It's all God. So live as the highest expression of God as your own daily life. Trust the process and go for it. It's the age of the gods. Thank you and love in all ways, the Starckes.
I'm Nicki Scully, and I'm delighted to be here. It's time to use the exponential power of our numbers to create the love and vision required to truly change things and transform our world. So close your eyes, ground and center. We are about to take a shamanic journey. Focus on your heart. Find the eternal flame that lives in the sanctuary of your heart temple. As you bring it into focus, feed it with love. Love is the fuel that makes your heart flame brighter and more radiant. As you continue to pour love on your flame, focus on the heart of the earth and the heart of the cosmos simultaneously, and begin to inhale the power, vitality, and wisdom from earth, while you draw down the intelligence, power, and love from the cosmos. Notice what happens when they meet in your heart center and join with the love you continue to pour on your heart flame. As you exhale, your flame intensifies and radiates the power of the earth and the universe, and the power of love throughout your being, nourishing and awakening every cell and molecule in your body. The heart breath acts like bellows and increases your radiance until you feel your heart flame connect with the heart flames of all the others who are gathered to support this moment. The light that is created when our heart flames are connected is so bright that it acts as a beacon to summon all consciousness throughout the universe that wish to support our efforts.
Invoke your own spirit guides, totems, and allies to join us and feel as our gathering grows. Now put your hands up, palms forward toward the center of the giant circle of light. After your next in-breath, exhale through your hands and feel the energy of the universal life force of love and compassion pour out your hands and fingertips. A tiny dot appears in the center of the light that is created by our connected heart flames. As we continue to direct love to it, it grows into a purple-black egg flecked with gold, an etheric egg, a spirit egg, an egg of creation. On your next heart breath, inhale your intention to envision a new world, and then exhale your love into the egg through your hands and heart while envisioning the world you wish to live in, the future of our planet. Inhale the peace and harmony, the clean air, and fill in the details. Feel the waters in your own body become clear and free of toxins, and continue to exhale the beauty of our creation as you continue to fill the egg, which is expanding with our visions and our love. Now simply hold space with your breathing and quietly allow the invisible mystery, the unfathomable intelligence and love of the primordial creator to add that which our minds are incapable of imagining while the alchemy happens, hidden within the confines of the shell of this egg of creation. Now take another deep, full heart breath, blending your love with all the powers and intelligence of earth and sky. And as you direct this breath toward the egg, it explodes and the tender, newly created world comes pouring out. Feel the love, the ecstasy, the joy as it engulfs you and everyone around you, and then spreads throughout and around the planet. What does it look like, feel like, and smell like? Allow yourself to sense the feeling of well-being and harmony in this world that we've created. Feel the new frequency within which we bask, and that we now generate, each of us, from our core, our hearts, our hands, and our breath. As you focus on the new landscape that surrounds you, look down and see a strawberry growing out of the ground. As you pluck it, you realize that this sumptuous strawberry is imbued with and has come from this newly created world. Notice its plumpness, its color and fragrance. Now eat it and taste its flavor, its succulence, and its juiciness. When its essence reaches your heart, allow yourself to feel all the energy of this new world making its way through every cell of your body, every molecule, and out into the world. Keep spreading it with your heart breath while you ground and center yourself. And then turn and hug the person nearest to you. Sa Sekhem Sahu, and thank you.
Welcome. I'm Patricia Cota-Robles. And precious hearts, I'd like to share with you a little bit about this moment on Earth. We're in the midst of the greatest shift of consciousness ever to be attempted in any system of worlds. Never has a planet that's fallen this far into separation and duality been given the opportunity to move forward this quickly in the light. As a result of this unique experiment, the entire company of heaven, from literally galaxies beyond galaxies and suns beyond suns, is focusing on this one tiny planet, sending to us the love and light in amounts that is truly the maximum that cosmic law will allow. Every single day, there are billions of people on this planet that in one way or another have turned their attention to a higher power, invoking the light of God into their lives. As a result of those heartfelt pleas, the company of heaven has responded. The gates of heaven have opened, and the beings of light have been given a cosmic dispensation to come through the veil to meet us halfway. Now here we are in that cosmic moment, talking about the solstice of 2012 that we've been hearing about intensely for the past 25 years. So what does that mean for all of us? What the beings of light want us to understand, that most of the Earth is focusing on the 5,125-year completion of the Mayan calendar, which is certainly occurring at this time. But they have said that that is truly a minuscule fraction of the magnitude of what is happening. We are in the midst of the shift of the ages. The shift of the ages is a unique moment in time that happens every so many millions of years. And in addition to the completion of the Mayan calendar and this particular cycle, truly the whole of creation, there are cycles within cycles within cycles that every so many million years dovetail into one rhythmic momentum with the heartbeat of our omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent Father, Mother, God. During that cosmic moment, our godparents breathe the whole of creation up the spiral of evolution to the next octave of our learning experience. And that's what's happening at this moment. Now we are working in the eternal moment of now. And what took place and is taking place during this magnificent moment referred to as the December solstice is that the Earth is aligning with the galactic core of the Milky Way. This is opening a tremendous portal of light from the very heart of our Father, Mother, God, the core of creation. This shaft of light is blazing through the heart of the Milky Way into the heart of beloved Mother Earth, radiating out through the crystal grid system, raising every particle of life, energy, vibration, and consciousness into a higher octave of light. What is actually occurring is that this planet is being birthed into a higher frequency of a new solar reality. This is something all the world religions and all of the prophecies have talked about for eons of time. We are moving up the spiral of evolution into a higher order of being. So what does that mean? That means that from this moment, which is God victoriously being accomplished in the realms of cause, that the patterns of perfection for the new Earth are going to be filtering into the mental and emotional strata of Earth, flowing into humanity's hearts and minds, bringing forth patterns of perfection that are reflecting a renaissance of divine love. What does that mean for us? Well, the beings of light have said that for anything to happen, it must first occur in the realms of cause. But once something has been God victoriously accomplished in the realms of cause, nothing can prevent it from manifesting eventually in the physical world of effects, which is the physical plane of Earth. The only variable is how long that will take, and that is up to you and me and the rest of humanity evolving on this planet. Because once those patterns of perfection have been birthed in the realms of cause, then we must magnetize them through our thoughts, words, actions, feelings, and beliefs into our life experiences and project them as part of our life creation. This is what we are being called to do. And the patterns of perfection that are reflecting through this new birth are the patterns of divine love. These patterns reflect the oneness of life and the reverence for all life. What this means very tangibly and practically as we move forward from this moment is the reality that every particle of life throughout the whole of creation is interrelated, interdependent, and interconnected, is going to be pulsating within the conscious heart and mind of humanity. When we begin responding from this inner knowing, realizing that every thought, word, action, or feeling we express affects every particle of life on Earth, we will realize there's no such thing as us and them. There is no separation. So what this means very practically is that with every thought, word, action, feeling, or belief we express, we are sending forth a frequency of vibration that is either adding to the light of the world or adding to the chaos. And once we remember that whatever we project on any other part of life, we are projecting on ourselves, we will shift in consciousness in a way that will transform this planet and transcend the darkness that we have been exiled in since our fall from grace eons ago. We will reclaim the divine plan and the divine intent for this blessed planet and all life evolving upon her. And we will ascend into new levels of consciousness, a higher order of being, a renaissance of divine love that will perpetually reflect the oneness of all life, the abundance and infinite perfection in the patterns of perfection for the new earth, and we will truly be the sons and daughters of God that we have always been destined to be. So this is a moment for you to listen to your heart. You are not receiving this information by chance. If you are hearing this information, it's because you have been preparing for literally lifetimes to fulfill your particular facet of the rebirth of planet Earth. So I welcome you to this planet, and I am delighted that you are awakened and that you remember your purpose and reason for being, and that you are willing to serve as a surrogate on behalf of all humanity. And you are also expressing the instrument of God that you have volunteered to be prior to this embodiment. God bless you, and thank you for volunteering to be born during this cosmic moment on this beloved planet Earth.
Hello, I'm Laura Pieratt. I'm an intuitive energy healer and sound alchemist, and I channel the language of light, which is the language of creation. Today I'd like to share sound codes and frequencies, light codes for ascension from the Elohim with you in this. The intent of today's transmission is to anchor the higher mind into the heart, that we may all live from that higher place of divine love and peace. So I welcome you to just relax, take a meditative stance, get into your heart, and just open yourself to receive without trying to translate these energy words of creation, but just to feel and allow and receive the healing and blessings within them. And so we'll begin. Anakaya waso, anakia walo, ale ela ama a, ale awakaya wasolaka, ropaka sia wasomakaya, ele ela ama a, alakaya wasomaka, enikialo ala. Ele alo somakai otakasi, ola ala ama a, alealo sa ana. Ele awakaya wasomakaya, e alo ala anakaya waso ana. Otaka siawa amanakai ale ela ama a ele alo otaka solakaya wa mole e kaya wasolakai ramanakaya wasobakasi mokaya wa ele ea otaka sala asalakaya. E alo ala, e alo kaya wa sola kaya wa. Ane ela ama a, elea wa soba kaya otakasa. Ana kia wa, mele ea otakasia wa so ana. Be ela makaya wa otakasi, ale ela ama a kaya wa soba kaya otakasa. Ene kia wa, amana kaya wa. E alo koya wa so, ale ela ama a, ele kia wa so makaya wa, ele wa sobaka, ropaka si, ramana kaya wa sobaka la, ele ela ama a, akaya wa sola kaya wa, emeni kia wa, mana, ebri iki alo takasola kaya, ele ela ama a, ale kia wa sola ka. Emeni awaso, amena kia loka, rapakasia waso bakasa, ebedi awa, anakaya waso, ana. Menikia wa ropaka, rapaka, remeniki, amenakaya waso la kaya waso, ana. Beela, amena, ale ela ama a, ale awaso la kaya waso. Anakaya wa, elea waso, amenakaya waso, alea wakaya waso, amanakia otakasi alo otakasola kaya wa, ramanakaya wa, ele salakaya waso, ramanakaya wa, elea waso, banakaya wa, ele ela, amanakai otakasi, ele ela ama a, ele ela akaya. Otakasia wa somaka. Ele ea wa koya wa so. Amenakaya wa so. Ana. Be ela mbahaso. Amenakai otakasi. E awa. Robakaso. Amenakaya wa somakai. Elea wa so. Ana. Be ekia wa olakai. Anakia wa so. Ana. Ea wa kai. Mokaya wa. Rabakasi. Ele alo otakasa. Anakia waso. Ramanakasia waso. Anakai. Anakia waso. Ana. Lekia waso lakai otakasa. Ea bakaya no kotene isiawa. Mala esa. Makala. Mala ela akala. E alo koya waso bakati. Krapakaso lakai. Ramanaki. Rekia waso la kaya wato. Kaya no kosa la kaya wato. Ana kaya waso. Ana. Ele ela ama kaya wato asala. Ele ela ama a ala kai otakasi anako. Ana. Masala belea. Komena kaya wa lekia waso. Makia waso. Anakaya, Ana. Ala.
feel this quickening and this awakening is also can be, you could say, a catharsism or a letting go. It has to be, because before a new can come in, we have to release and let go of the past. Well, you see, there is a lot of past memory in all of us, and we've all kind of thought that we are the mind that we inherited. We have access to this information, which is incredible, wonderful knowledge. In fact, we don't even tap half of it half the time. For there is infinite intelligence all over. It's not just in our brain. But what happens is we think it's just up here. But the truth is, it's limitless. And the sky is limitless. But when we come to conclusions, then we solidify things. It sticks in the brain or sticks in the body, but we're trying to see if it's possible to watch the thoughts float in, or the fears float in and float right back out. Fear has no content unless we give it one. Fear has no reality. Fear is not real. Anger is not real. What we feel and pick up emotionally from our atmosphere has no reality unless we give it reality. So the key is staying out of what we think things are. Feeling things, hearing things, seeing things, and going beyond is what opens up our body to the light that we are. That is what the transformation is about, is awakening our senses to a whole nother dimension. To see beyond the appearances of things is kind of seeing with the third eye. To hear things beyond these pair of ears. To listen like a dying person, never listened before, like brand new. There is all kinds of levels of listening. In that kind of listening, we would not come to conclusion of, oh, it means this, or oh, I saw that, or oh, I felt this, and now it's stuck there. We have to keep expanding ourselves. So when we expand our ears, we expand our eyes, we expand our feelings, everything awakens in us. And this is the expansion, and it is the light. It's the whole, it opens up an amazing amount of energy. So there's levels and levels of this fire that's inside of us. And what is so wonderful about that? The whole planet, as it's making its shift, it's also firing up and cleansing and renewing, and there is no pain to it unless we add it, unless we make it that way. So we're trying to see if it's possible to quit allowing the past to influence the now moment. And when we can do that, we have a quiet mind. In that quiet mind is magic. Magic. Everybody talks about that quiet mind. It is the enlightenment stage. That is the enlightenment. But before we can get there, we have to just watch our thought processes and not take them so serious. Clear up our past, perhaps, from resentments, fears, and angers that weren't real in the first place. Do you know that we wouldn't even have to work on fear or cleanse it if we really knew that we weren't the mind we inherited? We would just simply say, oh, that's not who I am when it floats in. Oh, what I felt there isn't the truth about that individual. It's not the truth about me. You see, when I hold on to the truth about an individual, it actually has an effect on me. Instead of expanding in my nature, it contracts. So we're trying to get to a place, and we are doing it actually, not trying, we're doing it. And that is what 2012 is about, is that we're all doing that, all seeing that. And so we're opening up all these little corkscrews that were up here, that were tied up like knots in our noggin. They're opening up and flaring up, flying to all these dimensions. And then we will not have, and we do not have now, any limits. So the key is staying out of the limitations, or what we think's going on, and enjoy it, and be like the spacecraft we are, full of light, and see light all over the planet, and see all working together. For it is not about a single center any longer. It's about a collective consciousness, seeing the divine not only in yourself, but holding the divine in everybody else. It's beyond psychic, it's mystical realm. And I know that's what we are, as mystics. Thank you, everybody. Fantastic. We're going there, we're in the light. I see it for you, I know it for you, and we're there.